Good afternoon, this is Oxinity Channel on Education. Our mission in Oxinity has always been to support teachers in any possible way, especially with tools that would reduce dramatically their non-teaching tasks so that they have more time for teaching and why not for promoting themselves, because eventually whenever teachers create like a good teaching persona and have a good profile, they can really reach a lot of students, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So how can teachers scale? Apart from having everything that is necessary for great classes, they can do a little bit, they can devote a little bit of their time to reach more students. So we have today Cameron, who is in Madrid. Hi, Cameron.
Hi guys.
Hello, Anna is in Barcelona. Hi, Anna.
Hello. Hello.
And here with me are Wylie
Hi.
and Graeme Bell.
Hi.
My name is Radmila Gurkova, so let's get started. So the first thing that I wanted to ask you guys is, are there any psychological barriers for English teachers that would prevent them from promoting themselves? Because we know that teachers are not salespeople. But what should the mindset be?
I mean, the first thing I guess we have to think about when we start being a private teacher, a freelance teacher, right? We must have a mindset of a businessman or businesswoman, right? So we are already creating our business. We should, I guess, don't stop thinking that we are students, so we must follow some rules, we must be perfect, but we must set up a strategy and we must set up our objectives we want to do, economic objectives and social objectives, because it's our business we are going to run. That is a mindset that we have to have as a freelance.
Cameron, up to what extent do you have that mindset, or you've developed it? What was your case?
Yeah, I mean, for me, so if you look at my situation, I never taught in academies before. I came straight into teaching as a freelance teacher. So I've never had the mindset of, okay, I'm going to be hand-fed everything. I don't need to do the work. I've come in with the mindset that if I want it, I need to go out and get it. And I think that's what Anna's saying. It's like you're not an employee. You're working for the student. You're their employee, but you're not an employee as such for a company. You have to be. You're the boss. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you have to go out and get students. You have to manage your time as well in terms of the activities you're doing with marketing and your actual teaching, networking, all these things. It's on you, and I think that can maybe be daunting and fearful to people who have never had to do it before. They've just gone to the job between the set hours, left, and then taken your pay at the end of the month.
Right. When we talk about creating your own business and having that mindset, do you have any role models? Who do you look up to?
Well, I think that basically what I look up, I mean, people who were successful in their life, people who created a lot of businesses. Especially, I like people who grew up a lot making websites and making money on making a website. For example, like Milan Lucia's website was sold for more than 1 million of euros and this kind of thing. So I really adore this kind of examples, and I try. I'm not the one who is going to do the same, but I think that if somebody can do that, why I cannot do that? So that's why it's like, you challenge yourself. You can't do that. So you have to look up at you
Yeah,
when you
that's a great
create your business.
philosophy. In any case, what tools do we guys have at hand that we can use to promote ourselves, or what are you using to promote yourselves?
Mhm. I mean, we have an endless amount of tools. Really, it's amazing in this day and age, and especially with what we're doing. It's just open to everything. There's so many sites, so many marketplaces for different countries. You have all the social media channels. People are on them wanting to learn English, even some of the very, very new ones, especially because we are individuals rather than an organization. Websites, physical physical documents as well if you have them. I mean, absolutely everything we can utilize. Apps, I guess, too. For me, I'm very big on websites, social media, a little bit of the marketplaces, but mainly just the big ones. I don't really go into very niche places or places that are not set up for or driven on focused on driving English classes, for example, like the general job boards and community sharing services. I don't really go on them, but they're definitely a good place to go and find people as well.
I think I agree with Cameron. I guess we have plenty of tools, right? And you are right, Cameron. We can use everything, literally everything. We can use WhatsApp to for our promotion. We can use business cards. We can use just some documents, some example of classes and kind of things. But what we must have in mind that we must know our target student, right? Our target client. What actually we are looking for. We cannot look for all the students. That is why we cannot use all the tools at the same time. Actually, what I really encourage my students during marketing course to do is to understand what are they good at and what are they looking for. So once you know that, then you can go to classified ad, then you can go to marketplaces, then you can choose website as a promotion, right? Because if you're looking for a business client, you're not probably going to use Instagram, right? You're going to use mostly LinkedIn, or you're going to use general job ads, but like for jobs and these kind of things for promotion. But if you're looking for, I don't know, students who are university students, so you will probably go to classified ads. And what is good about that is if you know your target, you can create like plenty of different ads which you will adapt to every client you're looking for, and then you will measure results. If, for example, you're looking for business clients, but you post ads in Mil Anuncios or Craigslist or Tableau de Anuncios, I don't know, this kind of websites, I mean, voilà. So you will probably understand that, okay, I have more clients from the other ad which I was not that relied on, right? So then you start measuring your results within a time. And it means that you have to enforce what gives you more results, basically. So you can use plenty of tools, but you need to classify what is your target and how you're going to reach your targets. That is all about marketing.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
if I were to start promoting myself, what is the basic pack that I need to have ready so that I start promoting, and what sites, where do you suggest me to start with?
I think I would suggest, first of all, you must have your profile description, right? So
Mm-hmm.
your profile description is something that uh, you let people know you, right? But nobody cares about your education, nobody cares about your title, and nobody cares about if you are qualified or not. In most of the cases, right? We struggle teacher qualifications, but nobody cares. A student is looking for two things. It must be attractive and the price must be justified. Let's say the price must be cheap, but we cannot compete with those who are offering classes at 10 euros per hour. So if you're offering classes at 25 euros per hour, our wow statement, our description, our attraction be that it must be good enough to be able to offer that. So profile description is going to be the first you must have, right? And what is important about that, going for marketplaces, I think if you don't have much experience in marketing, so you go for marketplaces, right? Because it's those classes to super prof, it's very easy to create a profile in, right? So you just follow their links, you follow their I mean, the stuff you have to complete, your education, your methodology, and your title, and so on. So be very careful with your title. It must be very attractive, and it shouldn't be something that is like everybody does, right? Another thing that you have to must be in your package, right? You should have your video because people want to know how you speak, right? They want classes. You are a good salesman or saleswoman, but probably they like more British accent than American accent. I mean, this kind of things, it's also important to show who you are. And also be aware of your website. Everything what you post in marketplaces must be linked to your website. It gives you more credibility, it gives you more professionalism, and it gives you more visibility, right? So it already promotes and boosts you in Google, what is we're struggling about. So you are not only promoting yourself as a teacher, but you also look for some visits to your website, but in future, in the long-term goal, is going to be much more resulting just.
Great. And Cameron, in your case, how do you stage your, or what is your strategy? How do you start? Then next, what? Can you please describe the process for you until you reach your target audience?
Mhm. Okay, so big for me is the market research. Okay, so I'm on certain platforms because I know who I want to reach. Now I only know that because I've done the research. I've found out what people are looking for, where they hang around, and then I know what I want to target because I know where my target audience are. Um, then in terms of my strategies for that is I'm of the mindset where I want to give people as much free value as possible. And then a long way down the line, I ask them for something. Okay. So they've already bought into me as a brand. They've already consumed a lot of my free content. And people feel guilty. People don't like taking something for free. It's ingrained in our culture. We don't like handouts. So if you give something to people for free and then down the line you ask them for something, they think, oh, I've taken all this free stuff from this person. I feel bad. I have to buy now the thing that he's offering. But then again, I don't mind if people consume it and don't want to buy. It doesn't bother me. It's not like you have to have the mindset where you're not dependent on results and you're not dependent on people doing something. You just give it away for free. You're helping people, and as a result, you're going to be successful from that. So there's a lot of my sort of mindset. In terms of the actual technical, what I'm doing with that is I do a lot of posting on social media. I do some. Uh, I dive a little bit into the marketplaces as well when I want to try and advertise. In those marketplaces, you're not offering anything for free. You're just selling yourself as a person, but people are already there with their money out, ready to buy. So that's fine. In that case, you're just looking to give them the best service and fulfill all the sort of pain points they have. And then, yeah, in the social media, I give them all the free stuff. And when I want to ask them for something, usually they're quite receptive.
I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions because Cameron is is giving us a lecture on what to do and how to do it. So that's great.
What about Cameron? When you're doing stuff online, I mean, when you say post and advertising, is I know you mentioned earlier it's Facebook owned products, but do you post
Yeah.
through Facebook or Instagram? Which is your preferred channel? Which do you find the most relevant for your clients?
So they're different. If you look at, let's look at organic first. Okay. So stuff that you don't pay for, completely free, just posting as everyone knows on Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media you've got. Okay. Instagram is definitely one where you actually get more engagement, more people like your stuff, comment on it. Um, More people actually see your stuff as well. And I get quite a few messages directly. So they're not, I don't get comments as much on Instagram, but people message me asking for help or asking about the classes, and I give them information via that means. And also they give you compliments. So it builds your ego as a teacher, which is beneficial because when you're wanting to sell yourself as a teacher, you have all this sort of validation behind you. People online saying, "Yeah, I understood this because of you. You really helped me." Blah blah blah. So you go, "Wow, well, I'm good." So I feel confident going out and approaching people as a salesperson because I know I'm delivering a good service to the world. But in terms of the platform, so yeah, Instagram, more organic stuff. Facebook is really the core. I think it's the best one. Unfortunately, now as a business, you have to really pay if you want to get students. There are some things you can do. You can post helpful content in language learning groups, which I found you get a good return from. But for me, a lot of the audiences are spread out all over the world, and I specifically want to target Spanish native speakers. If you look at any of my content, it's very much driven toward problems that people have as a Spanish speaker learning English. So the ways that the verbs and the structure of Spanish translates into English is more what I focus on, rather than just in general, what can I use to help you learn English from whatever background you've got, okay? But Facebook is still good because you can post other people's stuff, which you can't do on Instagram. I mean, you can, but there's copyright problems within that, whereas Facebook, they encourage you to post other people's stuff. It helps the algorithm. It's more sharing going on. It's easier to like message people on Facebook as well. I find Instagram is very hard to find people. A lot of people don't use their real name. So if you try and search for them on Instagram, you have to remember whatever nickname or like arty username they've chosen. Yeah, it's difficult. And also you get a lot more people on Instagram, sorry, which is not really a true representation of who's actually buying into you, because there's a lot of algorithm bots on Facebook because of the nature of the service. There's not real people, it's just people that have automation in their businesses, following, unfollowing accounts, that kind of thing. They're not really people you can reach out to, whereas Facebook's a lot more personal, but it's a lot harder to reach people without paying, which is another concept. And I'm big on the paid side. So the last sort of 2 weeks, I've started running adverts, and it's doing very well. If that's something that people are interested in, I recommend, first of all, succeeding in other places, unless you have a background in it, or doing a lot of research before you start putting your money in to that sort of thing, because you'll spend money, but you won't find the results you're looking for. Yes, you'll grow engagement, you'll grow your following, but it won't translate as actual monetary benefits unless you know what you're doing.
So,
No, I was going to ask. I was just really interested because I looked at your Instagram, and you do a mix of like images, Cameron, with stuff, and you do have videos. And you're talking about engagement. What ones do you find that you've had the best results from? Is it a video with you talking, or is it images? What are people finding from your results?
Yeah. So this is something that is a brilliant way you can look at it on Instagram. So if you look at the images get the more likes. Comments are sort of shared between the two of them, but people think likes are so important, followers are so important in this day and age, but it's just not the case. If you look at the videos, people don't like because it's not the way you consume a video. Okay, you scroll down your feed, and when you see pictures, you instantly take it in. Okay, it's an instantaneous boom, there it is. I've taken all the information in one easy segment. Hit the like button. Okay. A video on Instagram, there's a limit of 1 minute, but generally you sit there and you watch the video, consume it all, and go, wow, that was good. But then at that point, you don't have the sort of reaction to like it. So videos, you get less engagement and likes, but when I look at the actual amount of people that have viewed it, it's much more than the amount of likes I would get on a picture, which shows me that videos are more powerful. And the comments, not on my videos on the Instagram wall, but I also do stories. So you're like daily Snapchat style 24-hour post, unedited, really raw stuff. They get a lot of views that you can also track, and they get a lot of people messaging me. That's the thing where I get most messages from, probably, because it's just little snippets, and people feel, because it's raw, it's more as if I'm talking to them directly. So they feel it's natural for them to then reply to me and say, oh, thanks, or could you do one on this subject? And then you build a relationship with them. So you're actually are their teacher, but you're not the teacher. So if they're in your area and you've done your targeting right, when they look to take classes, you're the go-to point.
Sorry.
No, I was going to say, was that what you were on about before, Cameron, about the free bits that students mean, when it comes to then speaking with them, they feel a little more obliged maybe to take it? Was that what you were meaning? You said it.
Yeah, well, that was more of just giving the sort of wall type posts where I'm just giving free content, everything. The people that speak to me in the more like human to human level, that's more of a relationship. Okay, so yes, there will be a bit about them feeling the guilt of getting free content, but it's more that they've already invested their time in building a
Yeah.
relationship with me. They feel that I understand them, their problems, because whenever they have a problem, I answer it. So they know I work as a teacher, and that's why those people would then
Yeah.
choose me as a teacher.
Do you
I
find?
think I
Oh, sorry,
also
Anna. On you go.
I also agree with this kind of thing about building the relationship with the client, right? And I also use it. For example, I would like to talk about it. I don't use Instagram, for example, for promotion because I'm more into Facebook and I have a lot of followers there, so I build relationship there. Let's say, but even if you talk in marketplaces, for example, if a customer, possible customer, asks you about the course. So my idea is not only to promote myself and tell myself I'm super good, like this is my profile, 25 euros per hour, right? What I try to do, you need to give the importance to that, right? So you need to ask questions to a client, but not exactly like how many hours do they work, right? But what I sometimes ask, like, what is your objective? What is your, I don't know, idea of having English classes? What are you looking for, right? These kind of questions, or just a simple example, but it also builds a relationship with the client. And even if the client says, I'm looking for, I don't know, classes of business English for company of, I don't know, of a food company, right? So you must repeat what the student said, what the possible client said. So it shows that you are giving the importance to the student, right? To the possible client. And it builds the trust force relationship there. And what I was about to add also, like when you create a content, right? Cameroon was using Facebook. I think it's a great idea, and Instagram is a really great idea. What I use in my experience, I use blogs, and I really into Google, into SEO positioning in online, and I think it's one of the things that teachers should have into in their concern, because sometimes they say like, oh, I don't know how to do the marketing stuff, right? But it's really easy if you know spend 1 hour a week creating a blog, but knowing how to do that. A lot of us, we were writing blogs some time ago, right? We have a tool in Oxinity, we have a tool to create our blogs, and we can post it like all the time we want. We can share it in Facebook, great campaigns. But people write blogs on something that they like, but they don't know some little tools. They haven't done some little research before they've written their blog. Why is it so? At the end, the blog is not efficient. The blog might be interesting, must be super engaging. It could be free content, it could be super good, but you don't know that people are looking for that stuff online, right? So before you do that, what I'm using Google Analytics. Before any blog I create, I think about the topic I like. For example, I don't know, food, right? So I try to search for the keywords that people are looking for the expression, for the phrase, like the best food in Barcelona. So you write blog on the best food in Barcelona, and you repeat the best food in Barcelona 2.5 per each block. That means that your blog will be more and will appear. Then you can share these blogs and these campaigns in social media, and it will give you much more results than just posting interest.
That's great.
That's
Agree.
why.
Very, very useful tips. I wanted to ask Cameron as well. How much money do you spend, Cameron, or how much do you recommend that a teacher starts spending on Facebook? What is the budget?
It depends. It really depends. I mean, if, like I said before, if you're going to be spending money on Facebook, you really need to know what you're
Research.
doing.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
my background was I started an e-commerce business, and this is how I learned about advertising on Facebook. And I wasted a lot of money trying to learn it. Okay, so a lot. So now I'm a lot more efficient, and I know I'm sold on it because of that. I've seen the return. I quite early on started making money from it, but I did spend a lot to learn to
Okay.
get to where I am now. If you're going to be running ads, really, you don't. The thing with Facebook is you want to spend money. If you don't spend enough money, they don't see you as an important person, and they won't really show your content. So you won't get the right result, and then you'll never use it again. So you have to spend a good fair amount. Really, £5 or €5, sorry, per day is sort of the general industry recommended to start on anything, and then invest more as you get returns.
Mm.
But it depends what you want, really. I mean, if you just want to boost a few posts, get your name out there, and you're playing the long-term game on Facebook, if you spend £5, run an advert for a day or 2 days, okay, just as an engagement ad to get people to like it, and then invite them onto your Facebook as organic people, okay, and then you just post content over the course of 6 months, even once a week or something, okay. Some of those people will look into it. They've cost you £5. Let's say one of them signs up 6 months later, you've more than made your money back. So it's just really what you want. If people are looking to get into it, let's say you nothing's working, or you really like Facebook, you like how you can connect people, and you want to know more about the actual strategic digital marketing side of it, the business side. I mean, people can they can reach out to me. There's plenty of content on YouTube. I can recommend videos that will help you a little bit.
Definitely.
You don't need to have, I mean, you don't need to have a perfect, massive. I mean, my sort of strategy is quite complex. You don't need to be as complex as I have it. I'm really looking to make the most out of what I'm doing. But if you just want to get a few private students, I think, yeah, a little bit of spend on Facebook would definitely work.
Great.
Not too much, not too expensive.
Okay.
I also agree that some money invested into marketing when you know what you're doing, of course. Because I when I started running my business, it was like I was spending 100 per month and without no return because I didn't know how to do this. So it was like,
Yeah.
oh my god. But at the end, if you understand how to do it, now, for example, I'm really into organic search, right? So I'm really into SEO. I've done a lot of courses on that, and I'm constantly learning about that. I'm trying to do some experience. But I spent, let's say, in marketplaces, I spent around 12 euros per month. So it's not a lot. I mean, it's not a lot at all if you have a return, because I have at least one interested or one even registration per week, per 2 weeks. So it's still okay. And I also use Google AdWords, but it's not the recommendation, let's say. It's only just my example. I use Google AdWords for the website I created like in Google. So it's Google website, free website. But I do some AdWords on that, and 3 euros per day. So, and it gives quite good results because I linked my, yeah.
Sorry, Anna. So do you have a separate website, or are you
Yes.
running your? Okay, so yeah, so this is one of the things that I was thinking about. If people, I don't know, it may be an Oxenity thing that it wouldn't really work for everyone, I don't think, but if certain people want to get onto the sort of the Google side of ads, it would be an idea to speak to some of the IT guys, speak to Radmila or
Yeah, definitely.
others
In any
to
case,
see if it's something.
yeah, and I also recommend the teachers to go for a domain. So even if it's like their name or something different, Graeme is thinking to convert his Oxinity site into
Well,
English.
I was going to do English con Graeme, and then I realised that people have been calling me Graeme for the last 3 years. So I'm just going to go with, I think, English con G. Because when I was telling people, what's your email address? I'm like, it's oxinity.com/GI. And I'm like, no, they're bored. I've lost them. So I found the domain name really helped. And it's just definitely
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah, go for it.
My idea is also not only just using. I mean, Oxenity website is great because it's Google boosted. Is on the first page. If you look for my name and surname, to the first page. If you look for Classic Particulars in Barcelona, so Oxenity is the first one, but Oxenity is general. But if you want to promote yourself as a big part of the Oxenity as a private teacher, so what I do is like I take this free website, which is really super ugly, but it's okay because Google likes. And then what I would like to do, and I'm still working on how to do it, I would like to link that website, which I'm paying for ads, to my Oxenity profile, which is much more complex and much more boosted, let's say. So I think this one would be a good idea to talk with IT.
This is exactly what Miguel is researching now. I'm still not confident to advise all the teachers to do that, because we first need to test it on some teachers, see what is the return, because especially when there is money involved, we want to play safe. We don't want to recommend people, okay, put your money there or there, without knowing that it actually gives results. So I can tell you, in this very moment, Miguel is working on it. How things should be linked so that we have the best results. but the most important thing is metrics. We haven't spoken about it, we don't have much time, but I'm sure all of us agree that metrics is the most important thing. Like now, being able to track where your results come from, because again, when we put money on something, or even time, when we invest our time, we want to see exactly where our leads come from. So I think that not until we know that, we're going to recommend, but there are easy things, as you guys were saying, without having to make an investment, even
Sure.
to be on the map, like what Graeme was doing. You
There's so
have
many
to do
things.
exactly. So let's recap them very quickly because we haven't.
Yeah, and much time. Yeah, just from perspective of what you can do for free, literally just picking your own address of where you live and putting yourself on the map. If I want to find something, I Google it. And if you want to have a hairdresser, it's hairdresser. The next thing that comes up is near me. I want to be near to my students. I don't want to travel across Barcelona. So I pick my locations, you know. And there's little things like this. There's Google Search Console where you can get. I've got an HTML tag which I sent to Miguel, and that makes me easier to find on Google. You know, Google, if you're friendly with Google, it's good to you. You know, and you just have to give it as much information, site maps and things. And there are YouTube videos. I mean, I recently just learned how to put GIFs on WhatsApp. I mean, I'm useless with technology. If I could work out how to do it, you can follow a YouTube channel and do it for free.
Yeah.
And finally, just one last word for maybe the most important thing that we can do with no money, which is word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us, how do we?
Yeah, well,
Just by giving a good class, really, I think is the best way.
Okay.
You give a good class, they're going to tell their friends, they're going to tell their colleagues.
Yep.
The only kind of example I could give is I started with a company here in Barcelona in September, October. I had 1 hour a week. I'm now there 7 or 8 hours in a week. So, you know, because the colleagues have taught their colleagues and they want classes, etc. And so it's a perfect, you know, that's what I found has been.
And I can link in what Cameron's doing. I mean, for just a quick video thing, you know, just to put that up. When you have your Instagram and your students follow you, that gives you material to talk about in class. It's so quick for like if Cameron's a teacher and I want to learn a language and Cameron's great and Radmila asks me who's your teacher, and I can just at that person on Cameron's Instagram and he can see how he sounds, how he teaches. The linking ability to do that. I mean, we could talk a little bit about the Oxinity system, but I don't know if we have time. Do we have time?
Go for it. Yeah.
One of the things we're looking at is when the Oxinity system is great. It's got great activities in it, but Rob knows more stuff than's ever going to be in an activity. So we have this ability to make bespoke classes for people. And if we put these things through the system, you know, that's going to make our classes better. I mean, me on my own, I turn up with paper before I work for Oxinity. Now I've got this online system, so I can get in contact with my students, WhatsApp them on a Friday and be like, hey, look, I've put this song in of this band that you like. How about you listen to the chorus and we'll talk about it next week. There's all these little things we can do with the system and with linking in our social media to be a bit better than everyone else and have that word of mouth, you know, because that's what I want to do. I want my students to think that I use the best technology. I'm always there, you know, and as you said, Cameron, you're building a relationship with them with Instagram. That's going to get you students, you know.
Absolutely. And I want to finish with a key word that Cameron used as well, which is validation. We are also absolutely convinced that validated teachers and teachers with high validations have to be endorsed and have to be helped in any possible way. So our commitment from Oxinity to help all those people that have very good feedback from their students that are validated somehow externally, internally, we're going to commit and help them in any possible way, promoting them and passing them hours and making sure that they grow. So I think it was a great talk. I really learned a lot.
I learned a lot.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
From Anna, thank you. Cameron as well. Many thanks. It was great tips, very useful. And we're going to apply all this knowledge with the new teachers and the existing ones, of course. Thank you, guys, and we will be back next week with Englishness.
Yeah.
English.
And me, the Scotsman, making fun of you.
Thank you. See you on Friday at 12
See
sharp.
you guys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, thank you.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.